Run, river, run, run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your place beneath the sun. Run, river, run over me.
Hi, welcome to Be My Guest. This is Jan Lewis, your host, and we've been going through, 3 storms around here, and maybe another one coming, but we're here. Today we have, right here from Upton, Cathy Taylor, and Cathy is our resident artist. Welcome, Cathy.
Thank you.
Cathy is going to have a Luminary workshop over at the Nutmeg Regional High School on we're going to talk about this a lot, March 22nd, 7 to 8:30 p.m., and yes, you do have to register. It's not a cost. Just come over to the library and register. Just put your John Hancock on there and you're in. I'll be there, God willing. I'll be there too. Welcome back. Cathy, you reminded me you had been on many years ago on this show in a whole different way from the Historical Commission, right? Cathy is going to talk about the Luminary. How did you get into this art? It's beautiful. It's downstairs in the library windows. What is it?
Well, as an artist, I'm fascinated by light. And I'm a person who is light sensitive. So I've always done a lot of work highlighting light. I used to do some work with double glass frames with transparencies in it. But the whole luminary idea really took off when, because of health reasons, I have a therapeutic light box. And what I do is every morning for about 10-15 minutes, I sit in front of the light box, and it helps me out with seasonal affective disorder. Hits a lot of people during the dark days. I was a former teacher, and I would get up at the crack of dawn and be in school by 7 and get home at 4, and I literally did not see light. And I got very sensitive, and I found if I was with a therapeutic light box, it was helpful. During that really, really bad winter where it kept snowing and snowing and snowing and snowing, I started to just really play with cut out origami paper on top of the light box. And then, because I was retired and home, I would take photos. I call them transparent collages with a light source. And I would take photos and I would put them on Facebook. And people really like them because your computer is a natural light box. You get really unusual layered effects, and it was really, really, really fun. So when I do work with luminaries, and as a teacher, I always like to do the teaching angle, I guess is what I'd say. And I did my first luminary workshop up at the Solar Fest up in Vermont a number of years ago, and it was a real hit. And I've done them with children, elderly, women's groups, all different sizes, ages. And I'm a big proponent of creativity. It's something that we, as children, work with very naturally, and as we get older, I think sometimes we put it aside. And I'm a big
we're all big kids.
Yeah, the power of play is extremely important at all ages. Yeah. So
boy, are we on the same? Boy, I'm a proponent of that all the time. It's very important. I would say most of my friends that I've known for don't seem to have that capacity. They've lost. It's like, well, you're all grown up now. But I'm like, yeah, but is it the way that we're raised? I had a very playful mother. Could be that? Did you have that too?
Well, came from a big family. I was always cutting things out. I would say very much encouraged. And I had a wonderful art teacher in my elementary school, which I'm very grateful for. Look forward to it every week. I've always found art, for me, I call it sanity. I do art to calm down. So it's just what I've always done on the back burner. I was a teacher, a special ed teacher, middle school. The stress was enormous. And I used to come home Friday night and just make a big mess and cut things out, and I really just would unwind and have fun.
We're so much alike, because when I do a Sharpie, and then my art is abstract, and I'll just go every which way and this type of thing, and it's therapeutic. Even those art coloring books, do you have some of those?
I don't, but
they're fun.
They're very, very fun, and working with color and pattern. And they've really taken off. People do like those. It's a little structured.
You can make bookmarks if you just cut parts. All right, enough of that. We want to see some of your Luminary. Cathy brought a special, screen. Show us some of what a Luminary is all about.
So I thought a little show and tell might be fun. When I do the workshop, that's going to be for 20 people, which is why you do have to sign up. And I have two bigger light boxes that are about 2 feet by about 1.5 feet. And, you know, people are in a little group around it. But this is my original therapeutic light box. The light is very, very strong, but it was the easiest one to bring. So you turn it on. And you can.
We're hoping this comes through, so stand by.
I'm hoping it's gonna.
We're hoping.
So this is an example of. This is just. These are former cutouts that I had. They were printed on some really light paper. How are we doing with the camera? And to really talk about the layered effect, you can put this and kind of layer it, and you can see the. Different layers that can come out with using two designs at once. Origami paper is really what I work with quite a bit, and when you put it on the screen and then you layer it a little bit, and you can keep adding to it.
Cathy, will you be doing this at the workshop?
Yeah, so basically I set up a couple of light boxes, and I set up a lot of paper and scissors.
Ooh.
And
so we can just have at it, right?
I keep encouraging people. I encourage myself with the same thing. We can be very self-critical, and I keep telling everybody it's just paper, you know?
Yeah.
This is,
look at that.
This is a design that's part of the luminaries. So there's two big luminaries, and I have to thank the Upton Cultural Council and the Massachusetts Cultural Councils for supporting our local councils. I have two large luminaries in the windows. What happens is if you take paper and then you print it on somewhat translucent paper, then you put it back in the windows, you get the natural sunlight coming through. And this is part of the design downstairs in the library. I call the big luminary over the checkout desk. It's got these three kind of worked into a pattern.
Oh, I love that, yeah.
A little bit. And you can see the pattern paper here.
Yeah.
So that the light really just enhances it.
Yeah.
So
That's
all together, I can just show a little bit here. They're in a very large panel here, and I call it We Love Books. I'm a huge proponent of the library. Having been brought to the library by my mother and grandmother all the time. We were big book people.
Cathy, before we get with how can they reach you about this?
So I do I'm going to put this up. To sign up for this Luminary workshop, you want to either show up at the Upton Library, right downtown Upton, or just call them, 529-6272. About half the people have signed up already. We still have a bunch of slots. It would be really good to get all 20 people. All materials provided, no art experience necessary. I have worked with artists. It's always fun to have artists take it to another level, but I usually work with just people wanting to have a fun night. I emphasize fun and creativity. So you will have to sign up between now and next Thursday.
Cathy, if they have any questions, how can they reach you personally?
So this is my website, and on my website I have a lot of contact information. I do lots of different kinds of art, but the luminaries, of course, are highlighted there. So www.cathyweavertaylor.com.
Sounds good to me. Cathy, how long have you been doing the Luminary? How many years?
Truthfully, for on my own in my house, as my kids and friends can testify, and family, I'm always making these really little ones.
And I love that. Yeah.
And then I just put them on my windowsill.
Yeah.
So
I think you showed me when I visited you one time, and I think I brought one.
They're all over my house.
Yeah.
And I just make these really kind of little ones, and again, when the sun goes on it, they kind of pop. You can have one design kind of during the evening when there isn't any light, and then I'm going to pop over here, and then it pops a little bit differently with the light behind it.
Yeah.
So I'm always playing with light.
Yeah.
So on my own, I'd say I can't really, I don't know, maybe like 20 years. I'm just
You love it.
like throwing it out. In the last couple of years, I've taken my role as an artist more seriously, and the Luminaries have taken off.
Yeah.
I did a library project in Acton,
Mhm.
and I had 6 windows in a rotunda. It was an incredible, incredible, incredible space, and I put them up in the summer. And I realized that the location of where they were, it was right where the summer solstice sunset
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
So I wrote up a local MCC grant for Acton. Acton Boxborough has
Yeah.
a local cultural council. And I proposed to do 4 windows in the winter solstice alignment. So I did 4 windows under the local MCC grant and did a workshop. And
I bet they loved that.
I really like it because as a former science teacher,
You were a science teacher, and now you're into art.
well, like a special ed teacher, but we taught everything. I mean,
yeah.
you had to cover all your bases. But
Yeah.
you can go to the second floor of the Acton Library,
Yeah.
and visually you can see that the summer's sun goes between here and here in the library.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's a visual kind of artistic, scientific way to show the sun moving between the winter and summer solstice.
Well, you could come right down here. Come over to the Upton Library. If you're out of town, well, come on over anyway. And you can come right downstairs and you can see some of Cathy's work on the windows down there. Now, again, we're talking with Cathy Taylor, and she has coming up on March 22nd. Is that a Thursday night, Cathy?
Thursday night.
Okay, God willing, the snow will not be here. 7 to 8:30 over at the Nipmuc Regional High School, I believe in the cafeteria.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, just bring yourself. No money. You don't have to do anything. Just bring yourself. No talent. Just come and have some fun. A luminary workshop. Now, you've done these before, obviously, right? Do people must walk out of having had a blast?
It's really, really fun. The thing with scissors is, I don't draw. You just pick up the scissors and you cut. And I
Yeah.
think that alone is very freeing for people.
Yeah.
It tends to be a little social. I mean, people do have fun and they look what I'm doing kind of thing. And, you know,
Yeah.
it's a communal experience.
Yeah.
Light going through color, especially in the winter with our long winters and snowy days and gray days, it is a really easy kind. I call it kind of a nice pickup. You know, when the sun does shine through it, it's fun and so people go home with, you know, kind of a hand size, luminary that they can prop on their window. And, you know, they're easy and fun.
Were you once over in Grafton and they had a big art craft fair?
Yeah.
That's where I brought it home from,
Yes.
your table.
I did think I did do a workshop there also. And I've gotten all the
I remember I
places
came
I've
to
been.
that artsy craft
Yes.
fair and I remember saying, this looks like a lot of fun. And I sat down. Okay, now, Cathy, she's pretty
I'd forgotten.
multi-talented, you know. All right, what is Reflect 2? Now put this on.
All right.
Here you
I
go.
thought
Try this
while
one.
I was on TV,
What show were you on? Tell them where you were. You were on?
Upton.
No, but you were also on, what was
Oh, I don't want to go into
Nope,
that.
okay.
We're going to keep the art here. So the other way I work with light is I work with reflection, and I'm very fascinated by shiny paper. I live in my house, besides all the luminaries taking up the windows. A lot of artwork in my house has shiny backgrounds. And what happens is the light and movement makes those pictures change.
Yeah.
So I started doing, I call them reflect shows, where I did a lot of collage work with shiny backgrounds. So I had one in Wayland this fall, and then I'm having another one in Worcester. So the Worcester Senior Center on 128 Providence Road.
Oh, I've been there.
During April and May,
Yeah.
I have 2 big walls there. And I've done, I have a whole bunch of, this is different, it's collage work out of magazines. And it's often, works a lot with pattern. I have 2 examples here I can show you. But I wanted to invite people in Upton, because we are in Worcester County. And it is the show will be up during April and May, and on April 24th there is a little bit of a reception from 11 to 1.
Okay.
There's also a workshop there, but I didn't want to inundate people with too much information. I gave 2 examples. I did spill the water. All right.
Okay. Oh, let's get. All right.
So the example of the Reflect 2 it's really taking bits of it's often taking the repetitive designs
Yeah.
and then really making them work abstractly. Sometimes I call them fractals,
I love abstract.
and
Yeah.
they're fun to have in your home because again they shift and move with the light.
I love
So
that, yeah.
these are really kind of different,
Yeah.
and they're all kind of shimmery.
And those are luminaries. Those are the things you do.
You know, different way of working with light. I
Yeah.
have some really, really large ones and some really, really small ones. So the luminaries are more with translucent light, and the reflection pieces are more with reflective light.
We just happened
I
in.
keep busy.
Just found the Acton one. You want to show them that one? That's it. That's what we're talking about. All over those windows.
So this is what started the Luminaries in the Library
Yeah.
MCC project.
This is a
And
kid.
these 6 were in the Acton Rotunda. And then the MCC grant went for the winter solstice windows, the 4 there, kind of a before and an after.
How do people hear about you? I mean, how did you get the word out? This is amazing that so many people from different areas.
Well, the MCC grants you apply for. So I applied for one in Upton and one in Worcester.
Yeah.
So in June, I did get funded for the Worcester Luminary in the Libraries project. So I'm trying to pace myself.
Yeah, definitely.
And so in Worcester in June, I have a big project going up. It's a big library
Yeah.
in the city.
I know.
And I'm really excited about the project there, and I'm still working with the library staff on all the details of that. But I have to tell you, as an artist, the local MCC grants are totally invaluable. I'm a big proponent of public art. I think it's really important that everybody gets to see art. They really shouldn't just be in expensive galleries. You know, art is for everybody.
I wish we had a gallery for everybody here in town. I do.
The local MCC grants really fund artists with projects, and particularly in the library. Again, I'm a keen reader. I'm a regular customer to the Upton Library downstairs.
Oh, me too.
And I don't know what I'd do without our public library. I'm a voracious reader.
Do you
I mean,
order
I
a lot
always-
of books?
No, I just come in and I look at the new books, and
Yeah.
I've always been in really, really good
Well,
shape.
you must love those thousands of authors we have out here. It's sometimes we have like a
incredible.
tsunami of them, and of course their books are downstairs. It's amazing. In the matter of 1 month, how many authors, once they hear about Be My Guest and they know that we're a proponent of books, I'll hear from somebody, or I'll check it out on the newspapers and say that looks good. Tatnuck is great. That's a lot of fun. I send a lot of authors over there to speak. Have you been over there with your luminaries?
No, but it's a very good bookstore, local bookstore.
Oh yeah, but also
I'm-
they've got
I'm-
arts there too.
I like it that libraries are free and for everybody. This is an example of some of the luminaries that were done in the Acton workshop. What I'm always surprised at as an artist, because I've been doing this a long time, and I think I have seen everything, and I've done a lot of workshops. Every workshop, people really just completely blow me away with what people come up with. It happens all the time. Acton this summer asked me to come and do a workshop for a public employee day. We had a really, really fun time. We were outdoors. During the, when it's outdoors and sunny, I can do little clotheslines, and we pin things up.
Right.
But I couldn't get over, again, what people came up with. So as an artist, I'm always interested in just seeing, what people do come up with. There's some punch-outs here. I have some punch-outs, these little flower designs that you can work with. And
So when people come to your workshop here in Upton on the 22nd, Thursday night, you'll have punches,
yeah,
you'll have scissors,
yeah.
markers, things like that?
Yeah, and sometimes you want to work with texture. So, you have some things with texture like nets, different kinds of paper. Sometimes this layered over it gives kind of a soft
You must spend
technique.
hours having fun with this.
Well, I do, and I think it's really important, especially in the winter for me, because in the summer I'm more out and about. But in the winter, when you're home and like you're in a long, snowstorm,
Yes, tearing
it's
your hair out.
It's a
Cabin fever.
it's really a fun way to work with things.
And you used to work with special education. I'll bet you were a hit. Did you incorporate your art with the kids too?
There's often not a lot of extra time minute in the days
Yeah.
for doing enough fun things. But I will say this, that I think I was originally hired because there was a student that was really artistic, and they
Yeah.
liked the fact that I think I put as an extra comment something about
Yeah.
art.
Yeah.
So truthfully, that was a selling point.
Yeah, definitely.
I won't get into a big argument today, but I think schools used to be a lot more creative.
Oh, when I went to school, we had art class, handwriting class.
Just
Forget
a
it now,
teacher's
handwriting.
license.
Most of the kids don't even know cursive.
I know we're all. It's
But
a
art was a
new
big
age.
thing. I remember that for
Yeah.
a long time, and I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. Did you major in art in college? What did you major
No, I
in?
have to say that I did a lot of art as a kid,
Mm.
and I really am self-taught. I didn't take classes in high school or college. I've taken a few classes at the Worcester Art Museum.
Oh yeah, we've had them with us. Sure.
I'm a member of Arts Worcester, and they do some wonderful, kind of more business-oriented, but
How about arts in the park
Practical.
there on Elm Park with those funky designs?
yep, all those different installations.
What's the one on the street? Arts on the Street they do every year. That was
Yeah.
fun. I visited that.
Yep.
Did you ever show up over there?
I've not done that. Not done that yet. I think I kind of did it as a back burner kind of thing. I've some of my paper cutouts used to be in Spirit of Change magazine.
Mhm.
I've been in the Lunar Calendar for a long time. A lot of those black and white designs. I started cutting out a lot of black and white sun, moon, especially moons and stars and women
Yeah.
designs way back.
Yeah.
I would want to say it was a long time ago now.
Yeah.
So some of these prints too, I just, instead of putting them in windows and having the sun go back to them, I also
I love
just
that.
print them on glossy paper.
That is, yeah.
So again, you can see the different
Yeah.
layered. You can see this design that I showed you earlier.
And she cuts out all of these. Which way is she, not a good angle? Which way? Head more towards the left? Okay.
And I can show you some of these, my original cutout prints.
We're getting this.
Angle it so it doesn't reflect the window.
How's that? Or downward? Downward duck or?
That's better.
Okay.
Okay.
Now you're getting this light.
Get
I didn't
it.
think about the glass.
Yeah. Yeah, the glare. And it's all done from cutting out.
And so I'll show you this also. If you print them on transparent paper, then you can layer the transparencies, and that's where you can get 3 or 4 layers of different designs interacting with each other. I'll show you one more, and then I'll show you the transparencies. It's kind of like a
Ooh, I love the
Good
earth
stuff.
tones in that. That looks like fall.
how are we doing with the reflections?
Did you think of fall when you did this, Kathy?
kind
This
of
one?
fire.
Fire
It's
and
like a
fall?
real
Yeah.
fire.
Yeah.
No, angle it.
There you. How's that? Is that good?
That's better.
That's better.
I wasn't thinking.
And that's a
flare.
tree. It looks like with fire.
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
kind of a. I do a lot of tree kinds of things.
I like you use that circle a lot too. I noticed.
Yeah. It comes
What do they
up a
call
lot.
that? What is that called? I notice it a lot in artwork these days.
Mandala.
Just that circle thing. You know, like doo-doo-doo-doo. It's in the middle of that tree. I think you just showed us. I don't know what it is, but it's a lot of fun to make a ton of them. You know, it's just the one you just showed us with the fire. It's right there. What?
Oh, spiral.
A
you're
spiral.
talking about.
Okay, I love those things.
So the so the transparencies. Let me get something up here quickly. These are kind of previous cutouts that I did put on transparent paper, and when you layer it,
Oh, well, the stars are really something. Like that. Ooh.
so you can look at this, and then you can take the layer out and see what it looks like with 2. Or you can
Oh,
put
you're
this
layering
one
with. Okay.
instead.
She's layering behind it. Oh, I like that.
So some of the work did come from this little layering technique, but it's really the same idea
Mm-hmm.
in that you've got translucent materials,
Yeah,
and that you're arranging them and layering them.
yeah.
And you can work with photos, to capture what part of this you really like. So it's kind of trying to think about it. I've done the workshops before, but I haven't really been on TV before. So I'm just trying to figure out how to explain it on TV.
I think it's really,
What
I
we
think
do.
people are going to get it big time. We're talking with Cathy Taylor. She's a resident artist of ours here in Upton. And on March 22nd, Thursday night, God willing, no snowstorm, 6:30 over at Nipmuc High School.
7 to 8:30.
7 to 8:30 at the Nipmuc High School. We are going to have a great fun workshop doing luminaries. How many people have signed up so far?
So 10 out of the 20 have signed up as of today. So Wednesday, a week before. So I think there's still plenty of time.
Yeah.
We're just urging people to sign up.
Yeah,
That's
we
all.
wanted to make sure we got her on the show early so that we can get it out even more. Are you going to put some of your flyers up down on our bulletin boards too?
Yeah, I was just reminded of that, just to
Yeah.
let people know. The other luminary I did for Upton, I can locate it here,
She's got a ton of these, a lot.
is
Look at that one.
I call it
Is it coming out all right,
it's
Paul?
this one over here.
Is it coming out okay?
Not, let me turn the light off and just hold it.
Yeah, there you
There's
go.
no glare.
Okay, that's good.
So this one over here, I call it Books Illuminate. And I was reading this fantasy book. Was it like a fantasy historical fiction book about Russia? I can't think of it. It's something in the Bear. Apologize. I wrote it up on a. I can't think of it. So, anyways, I'm reading this book, and I was thinking about it, that as I'm reading the book and the words and the sentences and the chapters,
Mhm.
in my mind, these shadowy characters start emerging, and they were very shadow-like me to start. There were some water spirits that came out of like the baths
Mhm.
there. So this one here came out of this idea that when kids read or when people read, your mind is illuminated, and you can visualize characters that come out of these shadows.
It's like a movie to me. I
and
have to
become
see it
totally real.
where everything is happening. If the author changes something in it, for me it's difficult. I'm like, oh no, I got to go back again, change the way that house was set up. I don't know why it bothers me, but I'm like, oh no, you're 100% right. You visualize
And then
it.
at the end, they're so real.
Oh yeah.
And a really good book. I hate to put it down.
So do I.
Because you're saying goodbye to these people that are really
Well, I
real to you.
keep it, or give it away. We've got about 2 minutes. Kathy, now, if they don't come into the library, they read.
They can call.
They can call you. Did you want to let them know how to
Yeah,
do
you can call the library, 508-529-6272.
Okay.
And again, we just have to get the list, so that we get the sign up. I'll have 3 light boxes, a whole bunch of scissors, tape, glue, different materials.
Oh,
It's
that
really
sounds like
a night of fun. I have to emphasize this. All my artwork comes out of a place of play.
Yeah.
I have to.
See,
just
I
be
relate to this big
100%.
time. I don't meet many girls our age who are into play.
That's my basic.
Yeah.
My and it's open to
Yeah.
all ages, and whoever wants to come, entirely welcome.
This is
Looking
so
forward
cool.
to it.
I look forward to it. God willing, I hope we're going to get there. Is there a snow date?
We didn't talk about it. I figured by end of March we
All
weren't
right.
going to be worried
Okay.
about
So
it.
if by any chance they do have to cancel.
We'll put it on the website.
Okay. All right.
We will reschedule it, of course.
What's your website again now, Kathy?
Well, the library website
All right,
we'd
it'll be-
probably list it at, but you can find everything about Cathy Weaver Taylor if you ever wanted to know at www.cathyweavertaylor.com.
I'm really looking forward to it. Thanks, Kathy, so much
Thank you
for
for
being
having
with
me.
us. We got about a minute left. So on March 22nd, hopefully I'll see you there too, and we're going to have a lot of fun with Kathy's luminary artwork. See you next time,
Thank you,
I
Jan.
guess.